Hello, do good Maverico here. Welcome to podcast episode number 137. I thought I'd jump on and talk a little bit about the Whacko talk of making $1 million. No, what I call Whacko talk when it comes to the whole online marketing industry or online entrepreneurs. There's a big thing where a lot of people, a lot of entrepreneurs are talking about the money they make. Like, yeah, they made $5 million last year. And for people listening, I guess especially people that are not from America, but for a lot of people listening, they think, oh, nice, they made like $5 million in profit. Wow. But they're not talking about profit. That's the big thing. A lot of them are talking about revenue without mentioning the word revenue. And I mean, in many cases, this is almost just like lying. It's almost like outright lying, because it's almost guaranteed that a lot of people are going to misunderstand it. If you work as an employee in a job and you make $25 an hour or whatever, okay, then you make $25 an hour, and after taxes you'll get paid a little bit less than that most of the time. So when you talk about making money, a lot of people will think that way, that you're talking about profit. So yeah, but I guess a lot of online marketers and online entrepreneurs want things to sound better than they actually are. They talk about being an 8-figure entrepreneur. Okay, you made 8 figures in profit. No, most of them are talking about revenue. So yeah, just something to keep in mind if you are a bit new to the online marketing industry or the online marketing game. When you hear a lot of those entrepreneurs talking about the money they made, yeah, they made 10K that month. What does it mean? If they're into e-commerce and they are making $10,000 in revenue in 1 month, yeah, what is it? Is it great or is it horrible? When they are talking about revenue like that, it can almost be impossible to tell, because maybe the product cost is really expensive, the shipping might be expensive, the fulfillment might be expensive, and the advertising might be expensive, the advertising cost. So someone that are making $10,000 per month, if it is a revenue, they might be losing money. They might be making $8,000 in profit. They might be making $1,000. It's extremely hard to tell. It varies by industry, fulfillment costs, yeah, a bunch of variables. So I mean, the whole thing is stupid, talking about revenue in a way where it's in a way where it sounds like it is profit. To me, that's just absolutely mind-boggling. But yeah, it is a thing. So just something to keep in mind. A lot of the experts out there are not as experts as you might think, you know. And I am definitely not an expert, just to be clear on that. I'm basically on the journey myself. But something to keep in mind. Profit, that's what you want. You know, to take a just absurd example of this making money game, if it's just the revenue, and if you can call yourself $100 million entrepreneur, as long as you have just made it in revenue, okay? Get one guy to take out $100,000 in cash, put it on a table, and then you sit down, one guy in each end, and you're giving each other 2-second consulting lessons or 5-second consulting lessons, and you're charging $100,000 for each lesson. You're just sliding the cash back and forth over the table. So you do that 10 times, 100K times 10. Now you have made $1 million. Now do it 100 times. Now you have made $10 million. Do it 1,000 times. 1,000 times 100K. Now we have made like $100 million. And just sit like that and slide that $100,000 in cash across the table back and forth 10,000 times each. You both had a 10,000 times each. Now you have made $1 billion. You are a $1 billion entrepreneur. Yeah, but it's all bullshit. It's all just it's all just silly revenue, in this case, even kind of fake revenue. And after we have done that 10,000 times, the guy that borrowed you, the guy that borrowed the other guy, the 100K, or the guy that started with it, he gets it back. And now the both of you that sat at the table, now you have made $1 billion. Wow. Yeah, but in this scenario, what's the difference? You have kind of wasted a couple of hours of sliding cash across the table back and forth. Now this is a kind of overly exaggerated example. But if you're only talking about revenue, if revenue is the big thing, yeah, why not? If revenue is the goal, wouldn't this be a brilliant way to do it? Yeah, but it would be stupid. Yeah. And are there people online that are kind of faking the revenue in the same way? I don't know. That's this scenario that I just came up with is probably a bit of a stretch, but I guess you get the point of how the revenue game can quickly become very, very stupid. Now making $10,000, I mean making $10 million in revenue. I'm not saying that's an easy thing, but at the same time, if you made it in revenue, say revenue. This lying stuff needs to stop. And by the way, I'm sorry if the audio is a bit bad. I'm out walking. But yeah, I just thought I'd make this episode about this because it happens a lot. So, you know, if you make $10,000 in revenue per month, can you live off of that? That depends. It might be you might be losing money per month, or you might be making like $5, $6, $7, $8,000 in profit. Yeah. In my opinion, we should just stop the whole making money crap talk. When people talk about revenue, say revenue. When we're talking about making money, talk about the money that you have made in profit. Now to take it one step further, even that is kind of on the edge in one way, because if you're making $1 million 1 year in profit, yeah, it's now it depends a lot on what kind of tax strategies you have. How is the tax laws in your country and in your business, your industry, things like that? How do you have it set up? Because depending on what country you are in, making $1 million in profit after taxes, the money that you actually get in your bank account that you can take out in cash and hold in your hands and use. In some cases it might be only like half of that, you know. But yeah, at least you would be talking about profit. Because when it comes to taxes, there's a lot of legal loopholes, and it varies a lot from country to country. And when it comes to the whole revenue talk, of course, it's okay to talk about revenue, but say revenue. Don't pretend that it is profit if it is revenue. If you made $127 million in revenue, yeah, of course you can talk about it. But if you talk about that number and pretend that it is pure profit sitting in your bank account, oh, that's stupid. I guess I'll get some backlash for talking about this. Some people might comment saying, yeah, but everyone knows that when they talk about what money they made, they are talking about revenue. No, absolutely not. That's not something everyone knows. If you work as an employee and you make $4,000 per month, who thinks you're talking about revenue? So I suddenly switch when it comes to business. Anyway, something to keep in mind. So if you're trying to, for example, model someone, maybe you have set out a goal for yourself of making $10,000 in profit per month. By that time, you might consider quitting your job because your income online is big enough. But if you're modeling someone and they talk about how they are making 10K per month, yeah, now you kind of have to ask them or investigate. Are they talking about 10K in revenue or 10K in profit? When it comes to making $10,000 in profit per month, the last few weeks I've interviewed a bunch of people that are running paid communities that is making at least $10,000 in profit per month. I'm going to interview at least 30 of them so far. I've not interviewed all of them, but a bunch of them. And it has been mind-boggling. Really exciting stuff. And the 30 interviews I'm going to turn into a book course and a community. And the title of that book is going to be Community Cash Cows. Why? Because a lot of people are basically running these communities as a kind of a cash cow business. So yeah, if you want to build your own community cash cow and you want to learn from a bunch of real life success stories, you should check out communitycashcows.com. All right. Take care and God bless.